Hello, everyone. Hi, we are on time, 7 p.m. My mic is on. Super Nat says the Phillies are going to the World Series. I know, isn't that crazy? Danielle says finally able to tune in to a live. Yay! Emmy Love says, hey, gorgeous. Hey, girl. Jeanette says, oh, the kitty shirt. Yes, it wouldn't be Astro Chat Live if I didn't come on here with my Astro kitty. So cute. Tasha's here. She goes, hey, girl. Hey. Tess says, I'm so happy to see you. I'm happier to see you. It's been too long. It literally feels like 1,300 hours. Okay. Orjan says, I'm still grooming a poodle, but I'm here. Girl, thank you. Love that you're grooming a poodle. They are the hardest to groom, apparently. I believe that. Okay, Alyssa says, Jess, I'm so ready to dive into this eclipse. I'm already feeling it. Yo, it's going to be intense. It already is intense. If you're feeling it, I'm not at all surprised. Rachel says, I had a dream last night that I knew I was dreaming, so I stole a bunch of money to bring back home to 3D, but when I awoke, no money. Moral of the story, it's not nice to steal, even in your dreams. That is the truth, but it is good to manifest. Anything you want, you can have, and we're going to talk about that today. All right, Rena says, hiya, Jess and the chat. Hello. Mary says, I survived Hurricane Ian. I'm so happy to be here in my new apartment. Yo, I'm so glad that you fared well in that. A lot of people were really, really struggling. Florida was hit so hard. So I'm really grateful that you're good, that you're all set up. Because a lot of people are still repairing and still picking up the pieces of what was left. Okay. A Bosick says, I'm feeling the intensity, but it feels pretty good, referring to the solar eclipse that's happening in the sign of Scorpio, which we will be talking about tonight. Ashley Fagan says she's experiencing lots of headaches. That too will happen with the pressure. So for those of you guys that are brand new to Astro Chat Live or starting to come in, my name is Jessica Alexandria. I'm the creator and the head witch behind Bahati Life Apothecary, and every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live where we, meaning me, myself, and I, and we talk about all of the transits, all of what you can expect for this week, and so on and so on. If you need to recap any information from the weeks before, all of the Astro Chat recaps, and you can relive the lives, that's what I'm going to call it. They're on Bahati Life YouTube channel, which is what you're tuning into right now. Okay, so basically for you guys who are brand new, I welcome you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And we're going to go through the rules really quickly, which are pretty awesome. And then then after the rules, we're going to go into a quick message that it is I have for you guys. It's an intuitive message. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about what to expect with this solar eclipse, as well as the rest of the energy that we are going to be dealing with as we move forward with the week. Maddie says, love from Philly. We have been talking so much about Philadelphia lately. I miss Philly. I am really feeling called to head back home there just to hang out for a little bit and then come back home here in Florida. Blaine Hagler says, hey, Jess, hey, chat. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That's true, you guys. We have about 480 people that are tuning in right now. At the very beginning, we're 3 minutes in, and 100 thumbs ups. So if we can go ahead, if you're watching this right now, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. This just shows appreciation for me coming up and, giving you guys some energy, giving you guys some love. The Astro Chat just jumped from 300 to 500. So if some of those people can go over there and hit a thumbs up, that would be great. Thanks. That would be great. Okay, someone asked me, how am I feeling? I feel way better than I did, but I'm definitely not 100%. I did try to go to the gym earlier today with my boyfriend, and that went well, but I needed a nap afterwards, and I don't feel like I'm 100%. I'm not nasal or anything, but you guys can tell that my respiratory system is a little bit weird. Like when I breathe, I'm kind of like wheezing a little bit, but it is what it is. Christiana says, I lit a candle for you today, Jess. Girl. Thank you. Don't make me ugly cry on here. That really means a lot to me. I love that. Thank you guys so much for the love. TT Divine says, boyfriend. Oh, shit. I know, man. Random, right? It literally takes me like 5 days to manifest these types of things. When I tell you verbatim, word for word, everything that it is that I asked for is what he is. He's freaking amazing. Don't get me started on that. Okay. Rena says, I'm glad you're feeling a little better. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, but I still need to be take it day by day. Miss Am Law says, do you manifest your boyfriends or do you let them just come in? So I manifest them and then they come directly into my life. I feel like I have to like clarify that. But yeah, every single relationship that I've had, I've manifested. And that's something that I want to start off telling you guys about today. Okay, first things first. First things first. Let me put the music down. Welcome everyone. If you want to, feel free to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and go ahead and share this video on social media. I'll give you guys just a moment to take a screenshot so you're not catching me in a weird moment. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's going to be the selfie that you guys can share on your social medias as well as the links. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so I want to start off by saying this before we dive into the details of Astro Chat Live. Before I dive into this, I'm going to go live on my Instagram. Okay, so for those of you guys that are friends and followers of me, not only here on the YouTube channel, but also on Instagram, if you see a notification on Instagram, don't click out. Stay with me here because YouTube is where it's at. Hey everyone, welcome back to Astro Chat Live. I'm Jessica Alexandria from Bahati Life Apothecary. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. There is a quick message that I want to share with you guys before I dive into the nitty-gritty, the details of this week, including the solar eclipse, the new moon that's happening in the sign of Scorpio, which is going to be ridiculously intense. We have to talk about it like in depth. I have my iPad here. First things first, before we dive into astrological details of the week ahead and this new moon, I feel it's really important to talk to you guys about the power of manifestation, the power of setting intentions, and number one, knowing exactly what it is that you want. Okay. So, this new moon, of course, is going to be powerful for lighting a candle, writing your petition, setting intentions, and also change in your life regardless. Thank you, Mary, so much for the super chat. But before that, I really need to talk to you guys about the power of manifestation because sometimes we hear things on verbatim again and again like a broken record, and we forget how powerful it is or we forget how to do it. So it's really important that we reconnect with that energy. And I feel like someone who's tuning in tonight or hanging out with us tonight really needs to hear it and reconnect or recenter back to the powers that lie within them. Okay. And this has nothing to do with the solar eclipse, but apparently, I guess, everything to do with the solar eclipse because you can use this, the power of intention, laws of attraction, setting intention, and stuff like that for the solar eclipse. So I want to say this, that you guys have to remember that you can literally manifest anything you want in under 5 days or less. That's no lie. Like all 1000% real. The thing is with that, you need to at least know what you want. That is going to always be the biggest obstacle, believe it or not, is not the ability to manifest or how you manifest. It's going to be you knowing exactly what it is that you want to manifest. The way to do that is going to open up in the energy of this week. I'll talk to you guys about that big time. Shaw says, what about health? Absolutely, in health. There is not one area of your life that you can't correct, make better, or turn it around in some way, shape, or form for the better, for the worse in your life or the lives of others. With that being said, we always have to be very conscious and aware of what it is that we're asking for, and also be very aware of what we're asking for, where it's coming from within us. If you can manifest anything in your freaking life simply by knowing what it is that you want, that's the main thing. Of course, candles, herbs, having a pen, a Sharpie pen, a piece of paper is very, very powerful. But the most powerful thing in the world, and this is coming from a witch, this is coming from someone who sells my goods, my wares, the herbs, the candles that work best for me. This is someone who would benefit from and profit from me telling you guys, oh, you need this, this, this. The most important thing that you will ever need, the most important thing that you could ever get your hands on really is simple, something that you can't even put your hands on, and that's clarity. Clarity. The biggest obstacle to you manifesting anything that you could ever want is usually 9 times out of 10, clarity. You think sometimes in our lives, we think that we want something, or we can intuitively sense that our path is going to take us to this one area in our lives that's going to be way bigger than our current reality. We can intuitively sense it. So sometimes we jump into that space, not being able to see or know or realize, AKA not having the clarity and the discernment to know that there are steps to get to that point. So sometimes you don't always have to do the big manifestation, like the big reveal to the universe. This is exactly what it is that I want. Sometimes it's the baby steps that help you, the baby steps that you set that create the foundation to get you to the bigger picture, right? So another thing that comes up with that is like, if you don't have clarity, not only in you knowing what it is that you want, but your subconscious, your intuition, your internal compass, your higher self is not clear and doesn't agree and isn't in alignment with what you've set the intention for, you're never going to manifest it, or you will keep finding yourself hitting a brick wall as far as what it is that you can manifest. You can use all the candles in the world. You can have all the prayer in the world. It will help, but you will always find that you're kind of hitting your head up against a brick wall. Basically, the way to do this and the way to work with this, bare minimum, bare bones, is to fall back into a space of surrender, really tapping into your feminine energy, which means kind of like the act or the art of doing nothing and allowing the universe to pour into you, to push into you, to grow into you the life, the seed of life that's going to then take you from potential to something that is actively growing. Remember, we're working with feminine and masculine energy here. So for you to fall back as a feminine energy, regardless of how you identify, regardless of how you enter this world, every single one of us has to go into a space of feminine energy receiving so that we're able to then manifest or then work our magic or allow the universe to kind of like start carrying forward like a train, like, or we start to carry forward like a train, just really strong, capable, and powerful moving forward. Luna Lane says, is this a good time for cord cutting? It's never not a good time for cord cutting, but absolutely this week is a phenomenal time for cord cutting at the time of the new moon, because again, this is going to be the empty space within the sky, the empty space within the cosmos, the empty space within the energies for you to cut, cancel, clear, delete. Scorpio energy is all about releasing. Believe it or not, we're going to talk about that. Scorpio rules our genitalia, as well as our bowels, right? So our abilities, our poo-poos and our pee-pees. That's what Scorpio rules. So we are going to really tap into those energies of release, and we'll talk about that when we're diving into the new moon. So if you're going to need to do any type of cord cutting energy, you can do that anytime. Anytime is a good time to manifest anything. Anything that you could possibly need is going to be a great time to do it for the most part. Okay, so I really want to tell you guys before we even dive into the new moon that's happening this week, actually tomorrow, which I have the links for the Scorpio new moon oil kind of pinned in my description box right now. But for those of you guys that want to reserve an oil, but I do want to say that you being able to manifest and set intentions is going to come from you. Okay, it's going to always come from you. If you don't have clarity, or if there's a part of you that is unclear or doesn't agree with or not ready for whatever it is that you know that you are working up to build in your life, then you want to resolve that issue first within yourself. And I guarantee you, within 3 to 5 business days, whatever it is of you setting the intention and you working the oils, you will have it. You will receive it. Okay, so I really want to say that really quickly. Dolce 24K says, first of all, I love your name. Like, I love your name. Dolce 24 Carat. Are you kidding me? She says, I've always heard that it's bad to manifest during eclipses. So that's the thing about the internet, is that a lot of it is fear mongering. The more that you have people afraid of things, or the more that you have like wise tales, old wives' tales, or old, not stereotypes, but superstitions, the higher the clicks and the more those things get recycled again and again or turned over so more people can see it. You can manifest during the eclipses 100%. Eclipses usher in major change. The majority of that change that is that like not I'm trying to say like incomparable. Like once there's damage that's being done, you can't go back and fix it. Usually if it will be brought on by the eclipse. If that is happening, it's not so much you that has done that damage. It's the fact that whatever it is that comes crashing down and collapse is going to collapse regardless. And when things are changing or things are happening so quickly around you, you can always evolve and transition along with the change, right? So that's why people who have fear with the eclipses, they're terrified of setting intentions during the eclipse seasons, because they know that the change that they make tends to be really progressive, and it seems to be like unrepairable. Like you can't undo what was done. The truth is like you don't want to put, correlation doesn't equal causation, right? So you don't want to point your finger and say, I did this because I set the intention. And we human beings have a really bad habit of doing that in our society, where we say, I did this, I brought this on to myself. When in the reality is, it's not so much what you have done, it's what has already happened. And you setting the intention is just the ground, the grounds for the future that is to come from what just crumbled, that was going to crumble regardless. So if you have fear against setting intention, whether it's going to be under the light or the lack of light under the eclipse, or any time, I wouldn't set an intention, just because you should never have fear, period. If you're experiencing any type of fear, I would confront that fear and ask yourself why you're uncomfortable, for asking what is that you want, what is the root of that actually, and work on that. But the eclipse itself is not going to be a trigger, and it's not going to be a bringer of death or evil. Way back in the day when they were burning witches at the stakes, the eclipses were considered bad to manifest or to pray under. But we're in 2022 right now, and we have totally owned our power as witches and non-witches, and it is what it is. Okay, Valerian, I love your name, says, send a super chat. She says, hey Jess, it appears that I really need to cut my family off, abuse and trauma, but feel conflicted about leaving them behind. How can I come to terms? Anything that we walk away from inevitably folds over in a different space. What you're cutting yourself away from is not your family, but the toxic traits of the family. So you're not abandoning them. You're not abandoning them. You are disconnecting from the toxic traits. Having said that, the love that remains between you and your family is going to stay there. It just needs to be given space to evolve into something different. And sometimes the best way to do that is through an extreme measure, as far as cutting off communication so that things can balance themselves out. Something that has always given me peace when I have to let things go, especially when it comes to family, especially when it comes to people that I love, is that I can use that time to gain clarity, to gain focus, to pray, to set intention for what it is that I want for that relationship between us, and for me to gain strength on my own 2 feet to show up as the highest version of myself when we all inevitably come together. Just know that if you are disconnecting from your family or anybody during this time, because it's just time, it's not going to be for long, and it's always going to be for the better. And you're not separating yourself from the family, so to speak, because love and blood go so strong. You're separating yourself from the toxic traits that are going to get starved out so that the family can operate as a healthy unit together. That would give me hope and inspiration. And also, the divine is so generous and so peaceful and so loving with us that if you rely heavily and lean on spirit, you will be provided for in that time. And it's that leap of faith that acts as a generational curse breaker. I hope that makes sense. Nikki says, I notice a lot of people are cutting relationship ties right now. Yep, tis the season. Tis the season. Hey, Instagram. How am I looking over here? Hey, Instagram. How you guys doing? Maya says that happened to me too. I cut off my family members for a few months, and now we have a significantly stronger, healthier, and peaceful vibe between us because I reclaimed my emotional independence. And I have done that too. Okay. I have absolutely done that too. Okay, so Abo6 says I'm feeling that right now. Some of my closest familial relationships need pruning, so thank you for that insight. Absolutely. Suzette says, "Hey, Jess, during the time the veil is so thin, is there anything I can do to avoid the amount of entities walking in and out? Is there a reason so many show up?" So I know that people have said for years that the veil is thin on October, and I stand by that. But I have felt for a long time with the Jupiter transit through Pisces, and well, mostly Neptune's transit through Pisces, that the spiritual realm is like right on the back of our necks because we've been calling on energies for the longest time in our society. So if you haven't noticed a great difference, since then I would carry on and I would still continue to protect. I just probably wouldn't be using like a Ouija boards or anything else for that matter, because that's a really dangerous game to play. Also, I would spiritually protect myself when I'm working with tarot or any other spiritual tools for that object. One thing that I like to do is set an intention, of course, through my candles, through petition work, that I'm being protected, and I go to my ancestors often. I don't feel like it's something that you can avoid, but you cannot be a host to them if you don't go looking for them. Also, you can help yourself be spiritually strong by taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional bodies by what you eat, what you're listening to, how you pray, how you speak, who you hang around with, what you're allowing in your home environment, who you're having sex with. Like literally, it's all about discernment and protecting yourself. It's way easier than people think, but everyone kind of demonizes Halloween. It is what it is. But I've always been telling you guys from the jump that Neptune's transit through Pisces and Jupiter's transit back into the sign of Pisces is bringing out the best and the worst of the spiritual side, and in the sense that there's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of people calling on spirits of all kinds, and the information that is being shared and regularly getting pumped out on the internet and through social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube is not always the most accurate, reliable source, but it's the loudest source. So you guys just have to use your discernment and protect yourselves. Okay? Guys, I have to pee so bad. Literally, I'm not even kidding you. It's actually insane because I always go to the bathroom right before I swear, I always go to the bathroom right before I go live, but I chugged all of this water and I'm gonna be right back. Okay. So I've never, you guys know I'm professional as fuck, but I had to pee so bad. Just look at my chair. I'll be right back. Music. Let's turn the music up. 2 seconds, I promise. Go grab your notepads or something, or a snack. What if I knocked everything down? I'm back. Woo! I wash my hands. I always do. Oh my God. Thank you for tuning in to my TED Talk. All right. Magic Melanin Mama says, yes, self-care. Yo, I was in the bathroom like, please don't fart, please don't fart, please don't fart. Okay. All right, guys, we have so much to talk about, and clearly we've not wasted a lot of time. Abby says, damn, that was quick. Yo, I am the queen of speedy PPs. I really am. I've always been that way. I'm efficient. I'm very efficient. I already know that, like, I'm going to finish the rest of this water and I'm going to have to, like, jump off of. I actually have a really important phone call after this. Like, holy cow. Okay. So, guys, let's go ahead and talk about this week ahead. Wow. So, speaking of manifestation, it can take. Mama Nikki says bladder control, babe. Yo. Okay. Speaking of manifestation and feminine energies, if there is a week to work on feminine energy and to fall into feminine energy and to fall back from masculine energy, this is not me saying that I think that you should, like, when I say feminine masculine energy, I'm not talking about how it shows up in the real world. I'm not talking about, oh, I'm a woman, so I'm feminine energy, or oh, I'm a man, so I'm masculine energy. I'm talking about masculine and feminine energy that balances within all of us in our energies, right? So this week, you guys, I'm going to just say this real quick. With Saturn square Uranus and with Mars that rules masculine energy and rules our ambition and rules our drive and rules our aggression and our forward, our ability to, like, propel ourselves forward and chase after what is that we want, and the very active parts of ourselves that pursue and want to accomplish and not take advantage of, but power through with certain things, that is going to go retrograde. That's Mars turning retrograde on the 30th. Okay. Not only is Mars going retrograde on the 30th in the sign of Gemini, this is not just this week, but next week, Mars is going to be squaring off with Neptune. The thing with this is, like, the whole world and the whole internet, I want you guys to be aware of this. The internet's going to tell you, oh my God, panic. Mars is retrograde. You're going to get in a fight with somebody. Mars is retrograde. You're going to get in an accident. Jupiter enters into the sign of Pisces. This is going to be the best thing ever. Jupiter is retrograde right now, and that's going to create this, and all of a sudden you can't make money. Speak for yourself, honey. That's your reality, not ours. The reality is, the actual reality is, regardless of what anybody else on the fucking internet tells you, or even what I say, like, take what it is that I'm saying and just throw it out the window if it doesn't resonate with your spirit and your energy. But chances are it will. But the reality is that there's no enemy and there's no planet that can stop you from being great. In fact, even when the planets are retrograde, even when they're fighting with each other, somehow, in some way, shape, or form, if you're smart, or if you have an astrologer like myself on your side, you can make these planets work for you and not against you. For you and not against you. How do you do that? If Mars, the planet of drive and ambition, was once chugging forward and fighting battles out there on the battlefield for whatever pursuit of happiness or pursuit of control or pursuit of power or pursuit of money it was that they were fighting for, now that it's retrograde, does that mean that all of a sudden all of the fights and all of the energy is just gone and it just dissipates? No. It's the time when the soldier sits down, grabs a cup of water, or goes and climbs into his tent. He takes a nap, restores his energy, replenishes his canteens. I don't know why I'm talking like we're in 1890, but that's the metaphor that Spirit is giving to me right now. Mars retrograde does not mean that you're going to go barreling forward and fight some stupid fight and battle. That would diminish your intelligence as a human being. If anybody tells you that you are apt to get in a fight, an argument with someone over something stupid, that is not your reality. If that's not a part of your character, why would that be a part of your reality? Okay? So basically how this energy will show up is that this is going to be an opportunity for you to kind of replenish where your drive and your ambition and your fire comes from. I'll speak for myself, and I'll use myself as an example. There's a reason why the end of this year has been almost completely cleared out on my schedule. It's not because she's not booked and busy and unbothered. No, it's because the majority of the planets are retrograde. And I have already consulted with the divine, my higher self, and my angels. I asked for permission. It made sense for me. The alignment was there. And for the rest of this year, I'm going to coast. In a few days, I'm going to Virginia. In a few days after that, I'm going to Costa Rica. After that, we're going to the Dominican Republic, EDC Orlando, and then it's fucking Christmas time. Okay? I'm going to actually take that time to spend with my family. Does that mean that the work, the drive, the ambition, the fire, the passion that it is that I have within me goes kaput just like that? All of the energy and the work and the sacrifice that I put in is just going to disappear? No, it means that I'm in a kitchen getting snacks right now, or I'm on the beaches of Costa Rica in my bikini with people from the Bahati Vibe tribe, which is actually true. This is actually what's going to happen, and I'm so excited for it. I love the idea of planning trips when these planets are retrograde, not because I'm a glutton for punishment and I want our bus to break down on the side of the road. It just means that the benefit of getting out there and being great is worth the risk of maybe a tiny nuance of something weird happening while we're traveling. And it's probably not even going to be that serious. It's going to be more annoying. And if that's the case, what do? I just plan a little more extra time for flexibility to make sure that I can get from plan A to plan B or point A to point B as comfortable and with as much ease as possible, because wherever she's going to be a queen. Okay? So how do you guys work with this energy? Do you remember the last few weeks I kept telling you, start your businesses, start building that plan, start moving towards that? All of those energies, that's when we're tapping into masculine energy. The last few weeks, the last few months, even with some of the planets being retrograde, it was active, but it wasn't go, go, go in one direction. It's go, 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 revisit, replan, rebuild, restructure the plans that are going to help you ultimately. Sorry, guys, I'm like fighting a burp right now. That are going to ultimately set you up for success, not only in this temporary moment, but in the future to come. We're not thinking about today. We're thinking about the future. Are you going to be successful in the next 5 minutes? Maybe. Yes, no. Will you be successful in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? With me by your side, chances are, yeah. Okay, play your cards right. Check out your astrology chart and you should be good. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about, and I really want you guys to write this down, is the Scorpio new moon. That's going to be an eclipse. It's happening in the sign of Scorpio. I already said that. And that's going to be happening tomorrow night, mad early in the morning. Oh my God. Sometimes it's so hard to talk when you're out of breath and you're just doing the best with your lungs. Just trying, man. Just out here trying. I speak for myself. Can you guys hear me wheezing? Ooh, can you hear that? It's not that bad. Yeah, TC says, yeah. You guys can hear me wheezing? Yo, she out here trying. She trying. Blaine says, no wheezing heard. Raina says, catch your breath, Jess. Wendy Young says, do you need my inhaler? Yes, girl. Yes. TC was like, I was going to say, it sounds like you're wheezing. I am. 100% I'm wheezing. Dorian says, you're doing great, babe. Thank you. I really appreciate the love and support. For those of you guys that are asking me, I'm going to be in Orlando for EDC November 11th through the 13th. It's going to be lit. So, and Costa Rica is fully booked up. Dominican Republic, I'm pretty sure, is all booked up. EDC Orlando is free for all. If you see me, then you see me. I'll be there. I don't know what I'm wearing yet, but I'll be there. So if you guys are in the Orlando area, I will be there at EDC. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and dive right back into what it was I was talking about. I did bump into, God, I got distracted. I did bump into a few people at EDC Orlando last year. It was pretty lit. It was insane. So if you guys can go, please go. I'll be there. Okay, so the new moon that's happening in the sign of Scorpio, I feel really called to talk to you through the lens of what Scorpio rules within the body. Beautiful 52 says you're not recording this one. Wendy says you're my rave sister too. Girl, yes. Shaw says, when are you coming to South Africa? Fingers crossed, hopefully soon. I've got some ideas for some trips in the new year. Hopefully with the same company, but maybe I might organize on my own. We'll see what happens. Mona says, is it okay to use a Scorpio lunar oil for the new moon? Absolutely. Okay, so the new moon in Scorpio, right? So I want you guys to ask yourself what, and I hate to say this because it sounds so cliche, and the YouTube community and TikTok community uses this all the time, but I'm going to step forward and I'm going to use it myself. What really has had you in a chokehold? They don't say that. What they do say is, what do you need to release? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to surrender? If I drank alcohol and I took in excess, and if I could take shots for every time I heard the spiritual community talk about release, surrender, let go, I would no longer be here. Like, it's insane how much people use the word surrender, let go of control. But like, on some real shit, you guys, think about Scorpio and think about what Scorpio rules. It rules our genitalia and it rules our bowels. I'm going to start with bowels because clearly that makes the most sense. Maybe it's no coincidence that I had to like stop and pee in the middle of this Astro Chat live, because it's just like, yo, I'm not trying to like hold this. Like, I have to pee, like, point blank, period. This is what you have taken, all of what you have decided that you're going to internalize. For me, it was hydration. And then wait, beautiful 52 says death and transformation. Exactly. If you could take a shot of like a ginger or turmeric shot every time you heard someone say death, transformation, release, let go, surrender, girl, boy, I don't know. You would be, I don't know. But it would be a mess though. Like, you would be no more good. You would turn something good into something bad. And that's kind of like maybe what's happening here. But think about, it's all of what we have allowed ourselves to take in, whether that is hydration and health, because that's what you're prioritizing. So your body or your life absorbs all that it needs in order to be successful and then expels the rest. Or let's say that you are prioritizing pleasure and recklessness. So you're eating a lot of Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, and Taco Bell and Doritos, Locos Tacos, or Doritos, period. And your body takes what it can from those nutrients, what little there is, and then expels all the rest. So think about Scorpio's intention is to absorb as much as, well, what the body has already absorbed, Scorpio energy is then going to release and pass on. These are the things that you have to learn how to let go of them. Let's say, I'm going to talk about shit for a minute, okay? Because this is just a metaphor. I hope my views don't go down. Please bear with me. I feel like this is the best metaphor that I can use. Let's say you are on a healthy diet and you have a big old fruit salad. Why did the views jump? You guys are weird. I thought the views were going to go down. They actually jumped up. Yeah, we're going to be talking about shit. So let's say I'm eating a big bowl of fruit and I have a fantastic, mouth-watering, succulent, stir-fry vegetables with coconut rice. And what am I drinking, guys? I don't know. You decide. What are we drinking? Let me know down in the comments. What are we drinking? All of that food is sitting there. And you're just like, you deserve this dinner right now. You deserve that food. So you're eating it up. It's full of nutrients. It's good for you. You cooked it in like olive oil and turmeric because Jess said it was good for you and your body was in it. Okay, we have iced latte. We have coconut water. We have fresh lemonade. 2 lemonades, which I was thinking too. I'm all about the lemonade life. Kombucha is not my friend, but you do you, girl. Mango juice, Snaps. Are we talking about Snapples? We have apple cider. We have orange juice, pineapple juice. That's really good for you. Passion fruit, chia seeds, Thai iced tea. Yes, a lot of pineapple juice. That's so good. So you got your juice, you got your snack, and you're like, I'm going to eat this. You know, in that moment when you're sitting at your table, you're doing the right thing for your body. So your body starts taking it. Virgo energy starts digesting it in the belly, and then all of a sudden starts moving into Scorpio energy. And it's at that moment in time where it's time for you to take a poop. Yes, you got to take a shit, right? What does this mean for you? This means that you cannot have shame, or you cannot hold on to what was once good that now has transitioned and transformed into whatever it is. It is absolutely time for you to fucking release it. Having said all of that, you guys, what is the spiritual shit that needs to happen in your life? What is the spiritual shit that you guys need to take? Serious question. Because with the Scorpio new moon, this is our time to really sit with ourselves and ask ourselves, I have done a lot of good things. I've made some mistakes. I've learned, I've grown, I've pivoted. I showed up here. I didn't show up here. It is what it is. All of it has been processed. All of it has been put where it's going to put. Now that we're here at the Scorpio new moon, it's not acceptable, and it doesn't realistically make sense or spiritually make sense for me to hold on to it. If I'm holding on to this, it's because I am afraid of abandonment. I'm afraid of the choices that I've made. I'm afraid of stepping into my power. I'm afraid of owning what it is that I've done. I'm afraid of owning who it is that I am now. I'm afraid of asking for getting my needs met. Whatever it is, what has had you, is that English? What has had you? What has you? There we go. What has you in a chokehold, and what has kept you in a chokehold? For a lot of you guys, you have been sitting in a space where you are not yet ready to step fully into your power, whether you want to see it or whether you don't want to see it or you don't want to acknowledge it, because that would mean that you can no longer hide behind it anymore. It just is what it is. Scorpio also rules the power of possession, jealousy, manipulation, power, and control. These planets are not only ruled by, these energies are not only ruled by Mars, they're also ruled by Pluto. These two planets rule Scorpio energy. So, do you feel like you are in control of the aspects of your life? Are you comfortable with where and what you have control with? What do you have control over? How can you manipulate who and what is going on around you right now? And not manipulation in a bad way, manipulation in the fact that you are powerful enough to make change in some way, shape, or form in your life. What is stopping you from being so completely whole and in control and powerful, the most powerful version of yourself that you can be? It's time for you to let that shit go. Literally, it's time for you to let that shit go. Another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that Scorpio naturally rules the things that we're not comfortable facing. Scorpio naturally rules the things that we are no longer comfortable, or we've never been comfortable facing. For a lot of us, you have to confront the shadow aspects within yourself, the things that you are not proud of. These can come in really difficult feelings like jealousy, anger, resentment, depression, obsessive thoughts. What are you so obsessed with? What links into you, sinks its teeth into you, the spiritual vampire that just locks into the side of your throat and sucks the blood right out of you? What is that? What does that look like? What is the vampire that's in your life? Is it an actual person? Is it a character trait that you have that you're not proud of yourself? Is it the way that you feel obligated to show up for your work or show up for the world? Is it the way that you have totally disconnected from your creative self because at some point you were forced into survival mode and the inner child within you had to die? How do you get that back? How do you get that back? How do you gain control of that? The way to do that, you guys, is not to run away to Mama Nikki says, anyone else terrified of healing? Girl, that part, that's really, really terrifying. Yes, Christina says, hi, Jess. We love you so deep, Mama. Thank you, my love. I love you more. Believe me, I love you so much. I want you guys to know that these transits are not here to punish you. They're not here to bully you or pin you up against the wall and tell you that you're not good enough, or to spit in your face and tell you, why haven't you found your purpose yet and where's your soulmate? They're not here to do that. Not in the least bit. The internet may ask you, or your family or your friends may ask you, what the fuck is going on? But internally, when you sit within yourself, Mars retrograde. Mars is our masculine energy. It turns inside. It says, I was on the battlefield. You have no idea the battles that I was fighting. You had no idea the demons that I was pushing past. You have no idea the ideas that I've been implementing, the business plan that I've been strategizing, the people that I've been connecting with, where I've been networking, where I've been healing. You wouldn't understand it. You wouldn't understand it. Mars energy says that don't need to be on the battlefield fighting all the entirety of that time, because sometimes the leader has to pull off the battlefield and connect within their higher self and go back to the strategy board and say, this is where we have gotten ourselves thus far. Now that we're here, let's get off the field and not fight. Let's create another game plan. Now that we're here, what are the next steps? That's what Mars retrograde does. That's the gift of Mars retrograde. If you're stupid and if you're wired to fight, or if you're wired to never let go, then maybe, just maybe, the chances of you getting in a stupid, reckless fight are there, or maybe, an accident are there. But the majority of the Bahati Vibe tribe are not people who are, being reckless and fighting people on occasion or very often. We're people we have higher goals in mind. So having this idea, or the internet telling you that you're wired to fight with something, or you're going to poop out or feel exhausted, how does that benefit you? Not only is that inaccurate, it's, if you believe that about yourself, you've just zapped yourself of a major potential for opportunity to plan, strategize, do differently, pivot, regain your strength, and then when these planets move forward in the new year, to show up and take over the city, whatever the city represents for you. Yeah. Sabrina says, you don't know how strong you are until you have no choice but to be strong. That's so true. I'm going to use myself as an example in that, right? So logically, I'm going to bring up my weight training that I've been doing in the gym. Logically, my brain tells me all the time that 245s, which is 90 pounds, and then that fucking bar, which is like 50 pounds or however much it weighs, depending on whatever machine. Logically, my brain will tell me that there's no way that I can fucking push that thing. I weigh, last time I checked, about 125 pounds. That's the heaviest I've ever been. And I'm very proud of that. I worked very hard to get to that 125. So logically, it doesn't make sense for me. The fear, okay, it doesn't make sense for me to push that weight. The fear would stop me because I don't believe that I can push any further than that. But the reality is that yes, the weights are heavy as fuck, but the way the machine is set up and the way that the machine is designed, it's there to pivot and to help you to become successful and to train parts of your body you didn't even know existed. So right before you jump on that machine, you have to ask yourself, what do I actually believe about myself? What do I believe I can and cannot do? Am I capable, and am I okay with surrendering to this really vulnerable position to see just how far I can push myself? And then when I push myself to that point, am I open to being vulnerable enough to see how strong I can go and push a little further than that until it's just under failure? And bitch, guess what? She be doing it every time, except when I was sick. I took like a week off because that sucked. Because rest is a necessity. But guys, literally take those energies and apply that to your life. You never know what can happen until you're in it, until you push yourself. Speaking of which, Shah says, what's the smallest thing that we can do to give us hope to see change? Show up. Every day, continue to show up. I know that that sounds really small, but it's actually really large, and it's an easy step to take. But the reality is like, you got to show up. Let's say you're trying to design a planner or a journal. Work on it every day. Just show up, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if all you can push out is 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. Do what you can do. Clock in, clock out. You did what you can. Just show up. That's the smallest thing that you can do every day to give yourself some hope, is the fact that you didn't think that you could, and somehow you've managed to do it. You didn't think that you could do it good, and you didn't. You might have failed that day, but the reality is that you showed up. You showed up. Or if you fail, it didn't kill you. One thing about this generation that I love is that we embrace failure. We do not look at failure and we say, okay, this is going to define me for the rest of my life. This generation looks at failure and says, bitch, bring it. Bring it. Failure is proof that you're trying, which is so cliche. Just go ahead and put that as a successory somewhere. Oh, fucking gotta spin myself back. But a successory somewhere in your office so that you can see it and look at it and be like that cat that just hangs there and says, just hang in there, buddy. It's Monday. Whatever it is that you got to do, literally just show up. I am pooping out. Oh, okay. GP sent $19.99. Thank you for the Astro, the super chat. The sacred magic of Abramelin, the mage, abracadabra. Okay, say less. I'm taking a screenshot of this. Guys, can I just say this really quickly? Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Gratitude. Gratitude. All right, Razora says, sent $4.99. Thank you so much for the super chat, my love. Thank you. She goes, thank you, Jess. Quad Scorp here. You'd be surprised just how thin that line is between empowered surrender and obsessive self-destruction. You would be surprised how much I would not be surprised. You would be surprised. Having said that, you guys, I really want to talk to you about the last thing I can say here. Is that toilet paper? I'm going to die. Oh, no, it's coffee. Amanda sent $4. Thank you so much for the super chat. Shaw says, yo, where has the time gone? Right? Beloved Prophet said, are you preggers? I don't think so. Also, that's none of your business. No, I don't think so. Okay. Saturn square Uranus, guys. I really want to talk to you guys about that. Kimberly King says, haha, we need the booty paper for all this shit talk. Yeah. Do you guys remember paper towel toilets? I love that so much. Okay. Okay, Saturn square Uranus, you guys. Let me just pull this up on the iPad. These are the things. This is the last thing, and I really, 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 with Beloved Prophet says, preggers with new wonderful things. P.S. You're right. Sorry, Jess. No, it's okay. Now you're totally fine. I'm just being a little snippy snip. Yeah, so guys, keep in mind, we've been talking about Uranus. Uranus's transit through Taurus and Saturn's transit through Aquarius for quite some time, especially when it comes to global. I just want to talk to you guys about how it impacts us in our personal lives. This is you deviating, pulling away from, separating yourself from. Okay, how about this? Christiana says, you are amazing with this little pair. Thank you with the $20. Thank you so much for the super chat. Think of, this is another really weird visual, but I feel like you guys are going to get it. Think of someone, I took a self-defense class, right? This hand, that looks weird. So this hand is a Uranus. This hand is Saturn. And this is the fucking grip that it sometimes has on you in your life, right? In this self-defense class that I took with my friends, which was like, it was good in theory, but then it's like, if I think about, like, if I was in a club and someone ever put their hands on me like this, when I tell you I'll take this candle and fucking bah, bah. Like, and we always say like, oh yeah, I would do this and blah, blah, blah. I can imagine that I probably wouldn't remember all the self-defense things that I was taught, but when I tell you guys, I will find a bottle or something and I would just smack. I don't know why I went off on that. But so in the self-defense class, they tell you that if as a woman or as a man or whatever, if you're getting choked, then you're supposed to do this with the arms and then pull down. Sounds good in theory, but on some real shit, Lydia says, bop, bop. Exactly. I'm doing anything and everything in my power, and I'll butt you up. Right? So the thing is, with Saturn and Uranus, you kind of want to examine where they may have you in a chokehold in your life. And this is going to help you to see the truth is that I get very, very sensitive when someone tells me that I have to change this aspect of myself. This is just an example. This is somewhere where I get so triggered when I realize that this part of my existence or this part of my plan or this part of my routine or lack thereof is something that needs to be transitioned and transformed. What has you in a chokehold and what is stopping you from really stepping in to your power? And how have you obsessively or passively allowed or accepted this thing to keep you struck up and struck back? This is the time with the new moon in Scorpio, really, to plant the seeds of intention to Saturn square Uranus, break free from the bullshit. Literally, break free from the bullshit. Uranus represents our ability to look ahead toward the future, our ability to advance and step outside of our crazy ass comfort zones. And Saturn is that need for structure and stability that says you're safer here or you need rules and regulations here. All of these things are good or bad things. It's just how do they apply and how do they fit in and where in your life do you need to pivot and change things, right? So really, instead of being like, oh, I can't see the fact that there's a dead plant here and I can't let it go because I invested in this plant and I don't want it to die, which is a true story. That is a true story. For those of you guys on Instagram that can't see that, I have been holding on to this dead plant. It's not totally dead, but it's kind of dying because I literally thought it was a good idea to put it out in the sun and let it get fresh air. And like for 2 days, it was like Florida's hottest fucking days and it just burned and I will not let this thing go. But looking at it, it's like, Jesus, Jess, like, why does it have to be right here? But I continue to water it because I have hope. And I know that it'll turn around, but it doesn't need to be right here. Anyways, that doesn't have me in a chokehold, but what is that plant in your life? Do you even have a plant in your life? The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is if none of this applies to you, I got a plan for you too. Masturbation or sex, maybe, or self-exploration or self-transformation or whatever the case is. Why? Because like I said in the beginning, the new moon in Scorpio rules our genitalia. We are human beings and there is nothing wrong with pleasure. Just like Scorpio rules taking a shit, Scorpio also connects to the idea of having an orgasm. And if nothing else, then girls and boys, get your jollies on. On that note, I'm out. Oh, don't let anybody tell you or get into your head and tell you some shit that's going to fuck up how you feel about yourself or make you feel powerless or make you feel like you only have to show up in this way. That's not true. This is your world. You only have one life to live. The majority of us have maybe 80 to 90 years of here on Earth. That's not a lot of time. So go enjoy yourself. Figure out or be curious enough to explore different levels of self-pleasure, which doesn't have to be sexual. It can also be creative pursuits or emotions or allowing yourself to be vulnerably seen by another human or be vulnerably seen by your acting class who supports you and loves you. Or maybe take a trip somewhere. Sexy Granzy 40 says, please check your email. I do every day. If you haven't had a response yet, it's because things have been a little bound up from the hurricane and I'm in catch-up mode. All right, guys, I have a big slab of meat in the stove, and I am going to begin to prep for the Scorpio new moon, which means that there's going to be lots of oils that are going to be made later on Tuesday night, not in the morning. I'm not making any videos this week, as far as I know, because I'm still not feeling 100%. I'm clearly winded just sitting here and talking. And also, I'm going to be celebrating one of my Scorpio sisters whose birthday it is, who she's one person who I have to give her shout outs to. She has been one of my best friends and my sisters for the longest time, but for years, I always put Bahati life and my business and my work and the public before my most intimate connections, including my best friends. And it's by the grace of God, these people, my girls, still ride for me and still love me and are still my best friends. And there's no way in hell I'm not going to show up for her birthday and celebrate her and all the amazingness that she is. So for that reason, I won't be making any videos this week because I'm going to be cleaning, packing, and then also I'm going to be getting ready for Costa Rica and to go hang out with one of my best friends and show up for her. So I will share messages as they come through, but I can't predict when they do come through. Shaw says, wait, what are you cooking? Oh, okay, let me tell you. I'm making some lamb chops and I'm making couscous and I'm making a broccoli salad. I'm excited about it. Okay. The Scorpio new moon magic oil is pinned to the top. And again, like I said, the eclipse is going to be happening at, let me see, 6 o'clock in the morning, roughly 7 o'clock in the morning, roughly Eastern Standard Time. So I don't like to work in the wee hours of the morning like that. Like 7 o'clock in the morning is hands off for me, but 4 a.m., say less, I'm there. I've always been a midnight girl and then some. So bye, Instagram. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys not next Monday. I don't know. I'll see you when I see you, but maybe Monday. Bye. And YouTube, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, Becky Bullet says, I like that Jess is normal about meat while being spiritual. Yeah. I used to be vegetarian and vegan, but it didn't work out for me. I was like spinning like a race top. And also, I love meat and I also bless my food before I eat it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys in the near future. And for those of you guys that are I'm meeting in Costa Rica. Yo, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I like, you know me, I like book everything last minute. But I booked my flight for Costa Rica this morning. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.